Hey YouTube family, yes, it's your girl back at it again, here to bring you some confessions of cosmetology school. It's Crowned by Felicia. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm glad that I was able to make another video for you. And this one is Confessions of Cosmetology School. And in this video today is Sunday afternoon, and I decided that I would start posting on Sunday, Mondays, so we can basically expect a video around that time. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. So again, welcome back to my channel. I am excited to have you guys back here. I went ahead and made a list of the pointers that I wanted to talk about today, which is cosmetology school confessions. And basically we're talking about the confessions of cosmetology school. And we know that it's juicy, honey. Like, we know that there is lots to talk about. And so let's go ahead and get started with the first one. So basically, when I started cosmetology school, which it was like, what, 3 weeks ago. So I'm going on my 4th week of cosmetology school. By the time you see this video, I'll be on my 4th week. Yes, I'm so excited. I have been loving cosmetology school. I have been enjoying it. It has been godsend, something that I knew that I could do all this time, but wasn't sure, kind of doubting myself. I talked about that in one of my first videos. I think it was my second video, but I talked about that, and basically, just the gist of cosmetology school and the things that you kind of see, the things you go through, the routines, the experiences that you have. And I quickly realized within my first week of cosmetology school that I'm not just playing around with hair. Now, needless to say that I didn't think that it was just playing around with hair when I started cosmetology school, but it really shows me that there's a lot of intricate details that goes to being a hairstylist slash cosmetologist slash beauty student. There's sanitation that's involved. Chemistry is a huge part of it. And then the structure of the hair. And I didn't know anything about like follicles and cuticle scales and cortex and stuff like that until now. If you're thinking that, cosmetology school is going to be super simple and just, it's going to be really cool. And don't get me wrong now, it's cool and it is fun, but there's more to it than it just being playing with hair. And that's something that I had to really kind of like just take a look at and keep a positive mindset in, that I'm here to learn, honey. Like, I'm here to intake as much information, and it's not just playing with hair. That's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that. So if you think you're coming in and it's just going to be hunky dory, please take your time, understand the concept of everything, and know that cosmetology school is full of theory and you will be learning a lot. So that's all I have to say about that. Okay. And so number 2, it's physically and mentally tiring. So I think, can be tiring in all aspects. I say that because basically you're developing a whole new routine if you work, or if have other things that you do throughout the day. Like me, for example, I work a full-time job during the day and then I go to school in the afternoons, which is cool, but it can be tiring. And just to be honest with you, I have been having to adjust my schedule like a lot, especially my sleep schedule, because I'm not getting the full amount of hours that I usually get of sleep because I'm coming home at certain times at night, which I'm not complaining because I love beauty school and I love everything that I'm learning. But just know that it will be tiring. There was, especially this past week, there was a lot of standing on my feet, which I'm okay with because I do sit a lot during the day when I work, but there is a lot of standing on your feet. I did a lot of sectioning and rolling this past week. Well, not a lot of rolling, but I did do rolling. And I'm going to show y'all a clip of that here in a minute. This is my roller set that I did. A little crooked, but very nice. And so the roller sets and doing those, that was kind of tedious. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of had a little bit of hiccups here and there getting them together. But for the most part, I did pretty good. I could have had smaller sections, but it's all good. Like you got to celebrate the wins. Like even if they're little wins or they're big wins, you got to celebrate them. So I'm celebrating my win. So just know that it is physically tiring and mentally tiring. You know, the fact that you're going to be standing, you're going to be on your feet. You're going to be moving your hands and moving your body. And it's a good way to stay physically, physically active. But just know that that's there. So yeah. And then number three, you have to be teachable. So if you didn't realize in majority of things that you do in life, you have to have a teachable spirit. You have to be willing to put your pride aside and learn. A few times I had my teacher come up to me and kind of teach me different ways and techniques to do like the roller sets or like the keratin treatments. And I have to take that information and I have to be positive with it and apply it to myself because at the end of the day, they're making us professionals. So I have to respect that and I have to learn what I must learn and take from it, what I need to take from it and apply it, to my work. That way I'm improving and growing. And that's a teachable spirit. And you got to have a teachable spirit because if you don't, you're not going to learn and you're not going to grow. And if you don't grow, then how are you going to make it? So it's a ripple effect. It's a wave effect. And you really, had to stay in tune with that. So another thing when it comes to being teachable, being able to be corrected. No one likes to be wrong. And that's the truth. Like no one likes to be wrong. No, who wants to be corrected, right? But at the end of the day, correction is necessary for you to be able to grow and become that bomb.com.net stylist, cosmetologist, beauty person, beauty student, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. So there's that. And then again, they're making us into professionals. So we must be molded and allow ourselves to learn and be teachable so that we can excel in life. So there's that. And then there's number four. I'm gonna speak for myself. I think that a lot of times I can let joy get away from me. But one thing I'm learning in school, and in life in general, that there is so much joy in life. There's so many things that you can be happy about. And even if you're going through a hard time at this very moment, whether you're in school or not, or you're thinking about it, don't let that deter you from what your purpose is and what you're setting out to do and the goals that you have. Again, like I mentioned before in one of my other videos about faith and feelings and emotions, that, emotions and feelings and all that, they're not permanent. They change constantly. So we can't make a permanent decision based on temporary feelings. And that is, something that you learn as you go. And you want to learn that, you want to learn that. So even on my hard days, I'm proud and I'm happy and I'm glad to be experiencing what I'm experiencing. Even when it gets tough, even when it gets difficult, I'm right there and I'm still, trying to do everything I can to excel. So I am finding joy. I find joy in doing, cosmetology work, going to school. I find joy in my life, with just work and my children and my husband, God, most of all, but I'm learning, that it's important to find the joy in the work that you do. I am very passionate about the beauty industry. I'm passionate about anything that I set out to do. I want to do it to the best of my ability. I want to excel. I want to thrive. I want to do it efficiently. I want to do it more than it's supposed to be. And I think that that's the type of mentality that you have to take on anytime that you are, like starting school or. Okay, y'all, I am so sorry. So the audio went out on the last scene that I was recording. Not sure why, but I thought that I would still post Although I'm still learning, y'all, give me some grace. I'm still getting myself together when it comes to this editing, but I'm doing it. And so I thought I would add in this clip. And here I am draping the client slash mannequin. I'm gonna start sectioning off the hair. But I wanted to mention the last point that I didn't get to review in the last scene, but basically the last number 5, the last point is having fun. And I think that a lot of times, when it comes to work, you don't really combine fun and work at the same, to be the same thing or to coordinate it together. But, I've come to learn, and I'm learning that especially in this industry, it's a lot of fun. And I think that you gotta really open yourself up for that, and understand that you do deserve to have a job and be in a place where you're having fun and you're enjoying your work and you're enjoying your career. It doesn't have to always be work, 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 work. So I would say having a lot of fun and continuing to thrive, continuing to just do your thing out there, and enjoy it. So yeah, here I am in this scene. I'm having a lot of fun, as you can tell. I'm just prepping my mannequin, getting the hair tangles out. Part of the beauty industry, one thing that I've kind of seen, there's so many different fashion statements that people are making. There's so many different styles out there, and they coordinate with the person and them expressing themselves. And so I just thought, wow, how cool is it to be in an environment where you can be yourself, and you can really just glow and blossom like a flower and be a social butterfly. And I know that I am, and I have my moments sometimes where but anyway, back to what I was doing right here. Basically, I just got a little help to detangle the mannequin. It was really natted. The mannequins tend to get natted a lot more if you use really hot water. And I know that the first week that I started, when we did start using the mannequins, I think I did wash their hair with some hot water, y'all. And I know I shouldn't have, but I did. And so, I shouldn't have done that, but it didn't really ruin the hair, but it did teach me not to do that again. And so, but that's not the reason why the hair's natted this time, because I was using warm water. I was just being silly. As you can tell, I'm really animated. So, so my little school friends were helping me here, and I think at one point I asked her to wave at the camera, but it could be in a different scene. Just parting the hair and just ensuring that, they're draped correctly. And you can tell that I'm having fun right here, And I think that's what it's all about, is being passionate in life about the things that you love and the things that you desire. And going out there and doing it, and not just sitting on it because you're afraid of what it could be or what could come of it, And I just, I've come to a point where I'm in a place where I don't want to regret, I want to be able to say, hey, I wanted this career and I jumped out there and I went and got it, And so if you're on that journey and if that's something that you're doing, I just wish you the best. And I know that, whatever you set your heart out to do, that you will accomplish it if you really put everything into it, And so, this is this has been, such an experience. And I know that I mentioned that it is a cosmetology school, confessions, but I think it's turned into more of me being vulnerable and being able to talk about, some of the deep things that comes to, going to school and pursuing your dreams and pursuing your purpose and the things that, God has really placed in front of you to do. So here I'm blow drying the mannequin's hair. Pretty soon I'll get to work on it, but after every project or treatment that we do on the mannequin for practice, we have to wash the hair out to ensure that we have clean hair that we're working on. And that includes detangling, it includes parting, sectioning, and of course blow drying. So yeah. All right, y'all, so it's about that time. I'm gonna go ahead and get on out of here. I went ahead and I'm gonna add a clip of midweek of how my week was going. And so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and add that to the end of this, but that's it for now, y'all. I'll be back next week with another video. Hey YouTube, it's Felicia back again, just checking in. It is currently Wednesday afternoon and I am waiting for class, and I thought I would just touch base with y'all and see how y'all's week has been going, and just to let y'all know where I'm at. So basically, we started keratin treatments yesterday, learning about them, getting the notes and everything down. So I like the keratin treatment. The process is a lot longer, but it is, if you don't know what a keratin treatment is, it's basically like a silk press, except it's more of a permanent form. So meaning that your hair stays straighter longer periods of time, rather than a silk press. Whenever you do a silk press, the silk press basically, as soon as you wet the hair, or if any type of humidity or anything hits the hair, the curl reverts back. So that's the difference between a keratin treatment and a silk press, which preferably, I love me a good silk press. I mean, you can't go wrong with a silk press, especially on natural hair if you don't rock a lot of weave or wigs or stuff like that. Silk presses are always a really good go-to. But I love me some wigs and lace wigs and bundles and all of it, child. I'm here for it all. But anyway, that's what we're doing. Today we'll be working more with the mannequins, doing the full keratin treatment, because it's a really long process, and because it's a long process, it takes a lot longer. So yesterday I only got to do like half of a head of the mannequin, and I did pretty good. Like, I think I'm pretty fast, but it's really just getting the techniques down, like I mentioned before. And so I will be inserting a clip of me doing that, of working with the mannequin, doing the keratin treatments. But as of right now, I am really enjoying school. I'm really liking it. This is definitely my avenue, my niche, my area, and I'm discovering more and more as I go what I'll like. But as of right now, I just wanted to check back with you guys and just let you know where your girl is at. So anyway, I'm gonna let y'all go. Take care. Have a good afternoon, good morning, good day. See y'all later.